This right here is it is the most popular recipe in the history of our podcast recipe club. Pickled green beans with ground pork and pickled jalapeños, an unbelievable topping for rice, and dare I say, the best way of eating green beans known to humankind. Stick around, I'll show you how to make it. So, to start, half a pound of ground pork that we're gonna add about 2 teaspoons of cornstarch to, along with a little bit of sugar and about 2 teaspoons of salt. And we're gonna just squish that up with our grubby little paws, and a little bit of soy sauce, excuse me. You don't really have to marinate this for any amount of time. It's just a nice, convenient way of getting all your pork seasoned and ready while you get everything else going. So you're gonna start with these. Traditionally, the Chinese dish from whence this comes is called Suandou Ro Jia Mo or something like that. And it is made with long beans, pickled long beans. So I've sort of adapted this for the Western kitchen, where pickled fermented long beans are not a common product, but you can always find green beans. So we're gonna slice green beans into tiny little nubs. This is the size of a nub you want. So these little nubs are just gonna go straight into a microwave safe bowl, meaning not plastic, not metal. I've got about, 2 cups. This dish usually has pickled long beans in it, but since we don't have those, we're gonna do a little hack. And I know this is not the same as pickling long beans or fermenting long beans, but this is how you do it when you're in a hurry and you want that pickly flavor. So to this, I'm going to add rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Again, just a little pinch of sugar, and a little soy sauce. I'm using an any day cookware so I can do this. You might not have this same ability if you're not using an any day, but just make sure you give them a good mix. And then you pop these into the microwave for 2 minutes. While that is microwaving, I'm gonna get my aromatics ready. So a little nub of ginger. I'm probably gonna use half this nub. Get your pork started. A little vegetable oil, or in this case, grapeseed oil, into a hot pan over medium-ish heat. In goes your pork. It helps to have a nice wide bottomed pan with high sides like this. Obviously at home I'm using nonstick like this. If I were making this the OG way in a restaurant, I'd have a 50,000 BTU burner and we'd be doing over a stainless steel wok, but this is ideal for home. I'm going through the trouble of breaking up all this pork because I want everything to be totally little bits, little nubs. I don't want little big chunks of pork in here. And my ginger and garlic. So that's 5 cloves of garlic, a little 1-inch nub of ginger. Okay, so these green beans have spent about 3 minutes in the microwave with all that vinegar and soy sauce and sugar. And listen, these are not pickled, but when you microwave them together, it's sort of like blanching them. So they're basically 80% of the way cooked to where I want them, and they've all sucked up all of this vinegar flavor. Sucked it up! So they're like a little acidic, sweet, salty, umami, all of the flavors of the rainbow. Pretty delightful. Total hacky way of getting your pickled green beans. So if you time this correctly, which I didn't, you basically have your pork being cooked through at the exact moment these come out of the microwave so they can go straight in. All right, so this pork is getting a little brown on it, at which point in goes all of those green beans and juices. To that whole situation, I'm gonna add some soy sauce and a tiny bit more vinegar. That's so good. That's it. If you have kids who are sensitive to spice or coworkers who are sensitive to spice, this is it. It is a perfectly, God, it feels so lame to be talking so highly of my own recipe, but listen, it is. It just is. It's a wonderful recipe. Salty and a little acidic, which my kids at least love. You put this on some rice and it is like a perfect topping mixed with that steamy, carbohydrate-y, sweet goodness. But if you are one of the lucky few out there who don't have children, if you are somebody who likes spice and can eat spice, then this is my favorite move. Pickled jalapeños. Double down on the pickled flavor. And you know, these things, I feel like pickled jalapeños get pigeonholed as a nacho topping or what else do you put pickled jalapeños on?
Nachos.
I said nachos.
Burritos. Cheerios.
Anything that ends with O's. This is not the hot dogs. But that's not all. I feel like pickled jalapeños should be finding their way into more delicious uses. This being one of them because they, again, continue to be pickly, they add to the pickleness of it all, and the traditional dish has a lot of heat. So this is my way of doing a little additional bonus spiciness, which, like I said, you could pull some of that aside for kids or for coworkers who don't like spice, and then add the jalapeno to the civilized portion of this. So pickled jalapeno, you could also just use that same pickling liquid with the beans, which would be nice. I should have thought of that sooner. But that's it. That's all she wrote. I'll put this into tuna salads, pasta salads, anywhere you could use a little heat and a little kick. Feeling crazy. But yeah, into this. Now it is an adult version. Now it is an NC-17 version of the pickled green beans with pork. This dish, while wonderful, needs this to survive. Don't we all? But just a delightful scoop on top. I know it's not your Auntie Clarissa's green bean casserole, but this is the best green bean recipe in the world. Oh my God. The green beans still have crunch. It's so savory, perfectly acidic, and a little bit spicy for all you spice bros out there. And spice bros and spice lassies.